This should have been the happiest day of my life, but it's turned out to be the worst. So many feelings were going round and round in my head. Even when I thought about it, my stomach would flip. I sat down at a coffee shop, and I ordered a mocha cappuccino with some garlic flatbread. I was injured in many parts of my body, but this was only the beginning of the chaos. I ate my food, and had my cappuccino. I was barely able to function or breathe. I had just come back from a madman who was messing with my head. But that wasn't what was making my stomach tie a knot. It was that this person was my best friend. I lived in Brooklyn, New Jersey. I had come on a vacation, but things happened on the plane. Someone was able to skip the no metal or weapons check at the airport. They had a gun, and I knew I had to do something to not get killed. I saw them taking the magazine from their bag to put in the gun, so I prayed and asked God for a way to fix this. He handed me multiple clear coats. The coats were made with tungsten, so even a gun could not hurt it. I tried it on, and inside the arm spaces, I felt flexible, which was weird. If it was made from tungsten, then it would be too stiff. But it was perfect. By this time, people started noticing and getting worried. I passed a suit down to one guy and said, "Pass it down?" I had my best friend, Axel, with me, so he did the same. I got up and alerted the pilot. He set the ship on autopilot and came to the room with me. I gave him a suit, and he put it on. He walked over to the man and said, "May I please see your gun?" The pilot did not end up surviving, but I wasn't going down without a fight. I ran over to the guy and he shot, but I dodged it quick enough. He aimed it at my chest, and he shot. I didn't feel a thing since the suit was made of tungsten. I grabbed the gun and ran up to the pilot place. There was a door, so I grabbed a parachute and jumped out. I threw the gun, but I was in the air, so it didn't go far. The other guy did the same thing, but he turned off autopilot before he jumped. I was falling, in a way so I could see the plane, so I knew that it was going to crash. I saw someone jump out, but from the look of it, it was Axel. I thought he was here to help, but he did a kick straight into my chest. I was so surprised by his attack at me, and the weird thing is, he tried to hit me. Me and the guy with the gun were far away enough that you could tell his target. "Only the greatest villain can get away," he said as he fell in another direction. The plane was about to crash, so I deployed my parachute, so the guy with the gun would fall faster than me. I used him as a trampoline so I could get to the area of the plane. I bounced off his back and flew straight into New England. The plane was coming down fast, so I had to find something, but I couldn't see anything to use. So I had to sacrifice half of my bones to save them. I put my hands in a cup position, so the plane would come right into my hands. I held it for as long as I could, but one man couldn't hold up a plane. But as I was holding it, I prayed for me not to die, and that everyone in the plane wouldn't die. I held it long enough so everyone could evacuate. And now, here I am. I was finishing in the coffee shop when I heard a sound. It was too familiar. It was Axel. He was running to the shop, so I bolted out of there. I ran and ran and ran, but eventually, I had nowhere to run. I ordered a helicopter on BuyOrRent and on Uber. I paid someone to fly it to me. "You said only the greatest villain can get away. Then, who am I?" I said with a smirk, as the ladder lowered down. Axel started trying to get to the helicopter. He had a grappling hook he shot into the engine, making him fly up to the helicopter. I took control of the helicopter, and I went in different directions, trying to shake him off, but the hook was too strong. So I went outside the copter, and I slowly walked to the engine. I grabbed onto the line which connected the hook and the grappling hook gun. I slid down, with my hands holding onto the rope, and everything else was below the rope. I caught up to Axel. I did a kick into his chest just like he did to me before. He lost grip of the gun and fell back into New England. He tried to get a hold of the grappling hook. He did, and climbed back up. I fought him while holding onto the hook with one hand. In the end, it was my final kick that got him away. My body just shut down, and I had lost my power to do, well, anything. I went to the hospital, and they tried to pump as much air as they could and do all this stuff, but they didn't have enough materials. I was shipped to a different hospital, but I had died on the plane. And that was where I made my mark. They tried to help me, but by then it was too late.